on to Ethiopia, I honestly don't know where to start. But a lot of things have happened in the last few weeks that just breaks your heart when you think about Ethiopia. For several months now, people have been protesting because the government is driving out the Oromo and the Amharas in order to expand Addis Ababa. They are forcefully taking their lands, they are driving out the farmers, and before this month, more than 500 protesters have already been killed by the police in Ethiopia. Although some people are saying that it's not 500, that it's 700 plus that have been killed. But on October 2nd, which is the New Year celebration according to the Oromo calendar in Ethiopia, a lot of celebrants came out to march for the New Year celebration. As they were marching, others joined them to protest. About 2 million people came out that day in solidarity. So the government said police fired ammunition in the air to scare off the protesters. However, opposition leaders said that the police fired into the crowd, that they didn't fire in the air. Anyway, when people started running for safety, a stampede ensued, killing at least 50 people. That's what was widely reported, but contrary to that report, Ana Gomez, who is a member of the European Parliament and a friend of the people of Ethiopia, said that her sources told her that 678 people were actually killed that day.
President, last Sunday, the Iriesha festival in Ethiopia, it ended in a massacre. According to Oromo sources, 678 people were killed by security forces, shooting the crowd in cold blood and causing a stampede.
A lot of people were trampled on and so many people fell into the ravine. Yeah, that was so sad. Just imagine about 600 people in one day. I mean, depends on whoever you choose to believe. The Ethiopian government said 50 people. Opposition members are saying it's way more than that. That hundreds of people were killed in one day because they were protesting. My condolences to all those whose loved ones were killed during the stampede and during this protest. I know it's a very difficult time now for a lot of Ethiopians. Please accept my condolences. But I was so shocked by what the government did after that. They declared a state of emergency for the next 6 months. I'm like, 6 months? 6 months? They said that this is to deal with the anti-peace protesters that have allied themselves with foreign forces. Really, Ethiopia? Are they telling us that the protesters are being sponsored by foreigners? Which foreign forces? People are protesting because they are fed up. Why does the state of emergency have to last for 6 months is what I don't understand. In case you don't know what that means, it means for the next 6 months, the Ethiopian government can arrest and detain anyone that they want without warrants. That means they can pick up anybody. And already more than 1,000 people have been arrested. It also means for the next 6 months, there is complete limitation of free speech in Ethiopia. And also for the next 6 months, there is no public gathering allowed. So you have to get permission from the government before you can gather. It also means that for the next 6 months, there will be curfew. And that is from 6 p.m. till 6 a.m. in the morning. You cannot go anywhere. So the government controls when you have to be back at your house for the next 6 months. And also for the next 6 months, there will be no access to social media. Just imagine how... I mean, people cannot upload pictures or videos of police harassments online for us to see. And of course, for the next 6 months, nobody is allowed to protest. As a matter of fact, it's now illegal to make this gesture. So if I was in Ethiopia and I did this, I would be arrested. Also, no one is allowed to watch any TV station that is critical of the government, including ESAT, that is Ethiopian Satellite Television, and OMN, that is Oromia Media Network, both of them based outside of Ethiopia. So if the police should pass by and you're watching these channels, you will be arrested. The government has labeled these media houses as terrorist organizations. Also, the Prime Minister now has absolute control of the security forces throughout the country. Nothing like state or regional governments. They now answer to the Prime Minister directly. This is the first time, by the way, that a state of emergency has been declared in Ethiopia in the last 25 years. But not only that, human rights groups have said that recently the government is killing political prisoners and they are setting prisons on fire in order to cover up and say that they died in the fire. Not long after the leader of the Oromo ethnic group called for the release of political prisoners and journalists, 23 prisoners died in a fire at Kilinto prison where opposition members were kept. When the bodies of the victims got to the hospital, doctors said they found gun wounds on the bodies. They said, well, these people were shot. They didn't die from the fire. So the government said, well, they shot 2 people that were trying to escape when the fire started. But doctors were saying, no, these people were gone now. It's not just the 2 people. So till now, the government has offered no explanation for the fire or released the names of the victims. Honestly, I think it's time for TPLF to step down. I don't understand why a government will just refuse to leave when it's obvious that people don't want you? If people have been protesting for months, it's clear that they don't want you. 2 million people came out to protest. Isn't that obvious that they don't want TPLF anymore? So last week, the US released a statement condemning the state of emergency. But honestly, I think that the US can do more than releasing a statement, because everybody knows that the US and Ethiopia are allies, okay? There is something that America gets from Ethiopia that's not hidden. Ethiopians have been complaining for years. They've been protesting for years, actually, before the protests that started in November, that the TPLF, that is the party that is in power, has not been democratic. And America overlooks their cries. When Obama went to Ethiopia last year, he said that Ethiopia is democratic. And Ethiopians were like, so what? There is no freedom of press, no freedom of protesting. The same party has been in power since 1991. They are oppressing people. They were like, Obama, what are you talking about? 25 years under the same political party, and this party, ironically, is being run by the minorities. Another thing is, a lot of Ethiopians now are no longer afraid. Like, people are even ready to die. I mean, they've killed so many people. A lot of people have been affected by what's happening that now they don't even care, that they are ready to die. I think it's time that America stands for what is right regarding Ethiopia. And I'm not saying that they should invade Ethiopia, but they need to withdraw their support from a government that is oppressing its people and killing its people. How can you be supporting a government that is killing journalists, killing protesters, and then you are releasing a statement? Really, America? Honestly, how many people have to die before America will do the right thing regarding Ethiopia? You know that they killed an American researcher during the protest. Please accept my condolences. So how many Ethiopians have to die? And how many American visitors in Ethiopia have to die before America will do the right thing? Again, you guys know I don't know much. Guess what? I'm just keeping it real.